So good afternoon, people. Hopefully, you're all having a wicked Sunday. We're going to find out a little bit later today when our Prime Minister comes out and tells us what the latest update is for the lockdown situation. Excuse me. Obviously, we know that football's coming back in the Bundesliga, and a lot of people are sitting there maybe expecting it to start coming back in England. Now, obviously, we need to make sure it's safe and well to do so. We're going to know a little bit more after Boris Johnson's next update, which is planned for today. So, yeah, we're all going to be sat there with bated breath for that one to see whether we're allowed to ease the restrictions or whether we stay in the lockdown scenario. But listen, we're going to speak about a couple of players in a minute, so do stick a thumbs up on the video. I will be back at about 3:30 with the Premier League update. And then I'll be doing my 5 p.m. video at 6 p.m. Obviously, I've had a nice lay-in today, so these are all going to be out late today. The 9 p.m. will be as usual, and then the 2 morning videos will be back to normal as well. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for them. And we're going to start off talking about this guy, a guy that probably none of us have heard of before, which tends to be a common running theme with Arsenal at the moment, and has been for probably about 18 months now. We're linked to players that nobody's ever heard of, which is fantastic. You know, just because we haven't heard of them doesn't mean football clubs haven't heard of them. We know that Martinelli came into Arsenal. Nobody had a clue who he was, and he came in and he's been sensational. We've linked to the Leicester right back, the 19-year-old Leicester right back, Daniel Guy. Spoke about him yesterday. Again, unless you're a Leicester fan, I don't suppose you'd know much about him. But we are linked to this guy. His name's Gerson, and he's a Brazilian national. And he's 22 years old. He plays for Flamengo, which is the club that Pablo Mari plays for, or played for. Technically, he still does play for them, doesn't he? Because he is only on loan at Arsenal at the moment. So, yeah, technically, he's still one of his teammates. But this guy's under contract until 2023, and his dad has actually come out. Again, it's another father putting his 2 pennies worth in. So no doubt this guy's agent's going to come out shortly and say it's all a load of rubbish. But he told ESPN nobody knew of the interest of Arsenal, but now that I'm telling you, everyone will know. This is ESPN Brazil that he's spoken to, and he's basically said that Arsenal are in for his son. Now, apparently, Rouse and Haley tried to sign this guy when he was at Barcelona. Whether I believe all of this or not, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I mean, if Barcelona want a guy, they go and get their guy. So if Rouse and Haley wanted him at Barcelona, why didn't he get him at Barcelona? Barcelona never miss. They always get their man. It might take him a few years. Same with Henry, for example. When he left, he was being tipped to go to Barca or Madrid for 5 years. I remember, what's his name? Guillem Balaguer, for 5 years straight, was telling me Henry to Madrid, all over the media. Henry to Madrid, Henry to Madrid. And then he signs for Barcelona. Make of that what you will. But if Barcelona or Madrid want a player, they normally get their player. So I'm not quite sure whether he was linked to Barcelona. Like I said, I don't really know a great deal about this geezer, other than the fact that he plays in the same team that Pablo Mari played for. He's won the Copa Libertadores. They won the league. They missed out on the Super Cup, losing to Liverpool. I don't really know much about him. All I know is he's a midfielder, and and he's 22 and he's Brazilian. So if any of you guys do watch that league or do know more about him, please let me know, because I can't really find a lot of information about this guy. But listen, leave it in the comment section down below and let me know your thoughts on that. I'm going to move on as well to Aubameyang. Now, Aubameyang has been linked with a move away from Arsenal forever now. It just seems like it's been going on forever. And it doesn't look like it's going to disappear anytime soon. And every time I speak about Aubameyang, I say the same thing. Give him a deadline. Tell him he's got to sign by that deadline. And if he doesn't, we're selling him. Well, that's exactly what, according to the latest reports, Real Madrid have said. They said, listen, if you want to come here, you've got to sign a contract with us by the 15th of June or we're pulling out, mate. And do you know what? I think that's good. I think that's decent. You know, whether that's true again or not, it's only hearsay. It's only in the media. It's only reports. But there is links with Dani Ceballos potentially being part of the deal. Again, I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I mean, Dani Ceballos has hardly covered himself in glory since he's been at Arsenal. I don't think he's been that great. Handful of little cameo appearances. Other than that, I don't think he's done anything amazing at Arsenal. But what do? We have allowed ourselves to get into a position with Aubameyang where he holds all the cards, you know, and now we're pretty shafted. We have to say, like, okay, cool, we don't particularly want to sell you, but if it comes to the middle of June and you still haven't signed, cool, you're gone, mate. And if that means that we get Dani Ceballos in return, whether it be with a little bit of money on top or without a little bit of money on top, we have only got ourselves to blame. And we just have to do the deal. At least then we can strap Dani Ceballos up to a 4 or 5 year deal, and then we can sell him off a year later for a decent money, or we can keep him and he turns out to be fantastic. The one thing I'll say about Ceballos is he don't want to be here. He's made that abundantly clear since he has joined Arsenal on loan. He doesn't want to be here. You know, he's openly said that he wants to just play for Madrid. He doesn't want to play for Arsenal. He wants to play for Madrid. So again, if we are going to do some level of deal where we swap Aubameyang for Dani Ceballos, we're letting a player go that's our best goal scorer, that's the league's one of the best goal scorers in the league. Aubameyang scored 61 goals in 97 games since he's arrived in England, which is pretty relentless. We are chopping that in for a guy who doesn't want to be here. Is that a good deal? Genuinely, is that a good deal? I'm not so sure again. But again, Arsenal have only got themselves to blame for allowing this to happen. But I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I mean, listen, I only go off of what's out there. You know, apparently Madrid said that they've given him a deadline. Apparently Dani Ceballos is part of the deal. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. Bukayo Saka. It's the Bukayo Saka show again. But again, another one. There was reports the other day suggesting that Arsenal have put his contract talks on hold, which I just found mad. This is the perfect and ideal time to do a deal. Nothing's going on in world football right now. You can liaise over the phone. You can do it on FaceTime. You can do it on a Hangout. You can do it on Zoom. You can do it on wherever you want to do it on. Get him, get his agent, and get the club all on the phone at the same time. You thrash out a deal over the last 6 weeks or whatever it may be, and then you go, cool. When you come into training, bruv, you just got to sign the contract. How hard is it? Like this, I know we're talking in big money figures here, yeah, right? But this guy's on $3,000 a week at the moment, right? So of course he wants a pay rise. I get that. He is an up and coming, potentially world-class left winger. Potentially. I'm not going to jump the gun and say he is, because he ain't. Yeah, potentially he's got the ability to kick on and be world-class. Sign him up. And again, if he doesn't sign by said day, you're gone. Whether that's Liverpool, Man United, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and anybody else who's linked to him, just take the most money for him and say ta-ta. Because we have got to stop this rot that we have at Arsenal, where we allow players to hold all the cards. It happens every single year, and it is getting tiresome. It is so boring. But leave it all in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on Gerson. If you know anything about him, let me know. That would be fantastic. Let me know your thoughts on the Real Madrid link to Aubameyang again and the deadline they've potentially set. And would you swap him? Listen, let me ask you a couple of questions. Leave it in the comment section. Would you let him run down his contract and leave for nothing if it meant he stayed for the next 12 months? Would you swap him for Dani Ceballos if you don't want to let him run his contract down? Leave them in the comment section down below. And also let me know your thoughts on Bukayo Saka. I will be back with a Premier League transfer update about 3:30. And then I'll be back again at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So all have a wonderful Sunday, whatever it is. Stay safe. I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.